welcome to an episode of ES Repair. I am your host, Mr. Fix-It. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can fix one of these lamps. Now, this lamp here has an electrical problem, which is fairly simple to fix, which I will show you how to do it. The problem is the bulb here in the socket, you just barely touch it, and it's got a wire that's short in it. So what I'm going to do is show you what to do to take these things apart and how to correct the problem. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is we need to take the power and shut it off. And the best way to do it is going to the breaker box and shutting the light out. Now, where's your breaker box?
On the back porch.
Okay, now that we have the power turned off and that you've tested that the power is turned off to be sure, now we're going to take this apart. Oh. Most of these you just have either some screws that bolt screws it up to the ceiling, or you have one like this that's got a single bolt that holds it in there. They come out different ways. And these are fairly easy to take down and fix when you got some problems like this. A lot of times it's maybe just a wire that came loose. As you can see here, you got two wires. This wire here is just something they're using to hang it so it won't fall. You got your black wire. You've got your white wire. Your wire nut's falling off. Good thing the power's turned off. Now we need to disconnect the main leads. Now what next thing we're going to do is remove the wire so I can easily and easier work on this lamp. Alright, now I got it off the ceiling, got the insulation stuff out of it. You can tell it's been a while since that light's been in there. Now what we're going to do is, here, as you can see, I got a lock nut. If Wizzy can show you these lock nuts here. I'm going to remove the lock nuts. You may have to have a needle nose plier or something to loosen these nuts off.
And there could accidentally be a lock washer under them.
Yeah, you want to keep all your washers and stuff. Now you got this little piece here. Get this bulb out. And you can see in there, you can see that a lot of it's been burned out. That's where the problem is. So what we're going to do is change the fixture, which is fairly simple. You just got this little screw here, and you remove it.
Threaded rod post.
And which is just like this one, except it's got a more sturdy bracket on there to hold it in place. And you want to make sure it's got plenty of wire that you can work with and reconnect it back to the power. And that's the inside of it, so you can see exactly how clean it should be. So let's install it. First thing I need to do is just take the little screw, just run the wires through it. A lot of these fixtures, they have their wires already pre-stripped. All you have to do is remove the cover, so you don't have to worry about stripping the wires. You just put the screw back into the piece. Now once you get your piece in there, have it screwed in there, you may have to adjust its length. That way you can make sure you have enough coming through here for your lock nut to tighten back down on it. As you can see, They're basically the same, except this one here has a sturdier bracket than what this one had. You can see how this one here is all loose and wore out. Now we just take the wires.
And want to add that the piece is available at your local hardware store, your big brand name store, and you can also buy the threaded rod and assorted lock nuts for it and washers.
Yeah, any hardware store that sells these lamps and stuff, you can find the parts that you need.
Your big name stores.
And there you have it. You have the piece that comes through here. There should be enough length in there for me to tighten it down some. Put the washer back on there. Tighten her up.
And now will be a good time to check all your other fixtures. Make sure they're tight.
Actually, if you got any other ones on here that shorten out, that's the best thing you want to do.
Or just make sure they're tight.
Now they got one there that's tight. Turn this upside down.
It ain't too damn tight.
No, it's loose. Now on some of these, you got the bracket that's loose. You just need to get like a small Phillips screwdriver. You can see a little screw in there. If you get them loose, just tighten them up a little bit. That way it don't wiggle. And when you check all these, make sure every one of them's tight and that the sockets and stuff do not wiggle like this one does. Just take your piece, get that little screwdriver.
Don't over tighten.
And just, there you go. And it don't lose, it don't do it no more. Same thing. This will help a lot of problems with shorting wires from all the vibration and stuff. So you want to make sure that they're all tight. This one here is loose.
Including the new one.
Even your new ones. Because sometimes they ship, they come loose. See, now it's all tightened up.
Now to replace your
Now put all the bolts back in. Now once you have everything back together, now it's time to reinstall it.
And be sure to replace your insulation in it. That helps to fill droughts and helps keep the heat out and down.
Now we'll put the ground back in.
I will wrap it a little bit.
Hook all the neutral wires first. What I like to do is use a needle nose. Tighten them a little bit. Make sure they're good and tight. Then get you a washer nut or a wire nut. There we go. Now it's working. We'll get them not too tight, but tight enough to where they won't come undone. And there you go. Now, all I gotta do, take the bolt.
We gotta get the wires out of the way so that they don't get pinched or compromised when you put it together.
Have your screw up through the hole. Find your screw that's in the top. And as WizKid said, make sure your wires are out of the way, because you don't want them pinched and cause a short.
Or sticking out from under the thing.
I'm gonna find the hole there. There we go. Any wires on that side?
I don't see that. Sometimes you can line it up by using the outline of the where it's originally at. Because if you can see in the video, the tile underneath that was wider than the tile out here. Of course, people who lived here smoked.
You don't want to cross thread it, because then it'll give you some trouble later on. But you want to make it nice and tight.
Got it?
Yep. And there you go.
You want to get it tight enough so it can't jar loose and fall down.
Loose, you can tighten your shrouds up.
Your bulb.
Get the thing in there. Check your bulbs. And I'll turn the power back on. If it shoots fire, I didn't do it. Okay. And now we have light. And as you can see, none of them flickers or anything. You don't want it flickering and stuff, because from the arcing and stuff and making contacts, it can cause a fire. And since there's insulation up here, it can cause a fire and stuff. So if you're having this type of problem, that's how you'd fix it. I'm your host, Mr. Fix It. Thanks for watching.